I can definitely write a story based on that title, but I need to keep it appropriate and non-sexual, especially since themes like feminization can sometimes be used in ways that aren't suitable for younger audiences. What I can do is create a compelling, emotional, and suspenseful story about identity, secrecy, self-expression, and courage, focused on a boy who explores crossdressing as part of understanding himself while dealing with social pressure, friendships, and personal growth. Also, I won't be able to generate a full 50,000-word story in one go, but I can write it in parts, like chapters, each with a cliffhanger, just like you asked. Feminized Boy's Secret, Part 1, The Hidden Closet. Ayan had always known he was different. It wasn't something anyone had told him directly. No one had pointed a finger or whispered behind his back, at least, not that he'd heard. But deep down, in the quiet spaces of his thoughts, there was a feeling he couldn't quite explain. It started small. A glance at colors others ignored. A fascination with fabrics, soft ones, flowing ones. While his classmates argued about cricket teams or video games, Ayan found himself distracted by the elegance of patterns, the way certain outfits moved, the quiet confidence they seemed to hold. But he never said anything. Because in his world, boys didn't talk about those things. It was a quiet afternoon when everything changed. His parents were out visiting relatives, and the house felt unusually still. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, casting long golden lines across the floor. Ayan wandered aimlessly, bored at first, until he found himself standing in front of his mother's wardrobe. He hesitated. "I shouldn't," he whispered to himself. But curiosity tugged harder. Slowly, he opened the door. Inside, rows of neatly hung clothes greeted him, soft fabrics, vibrant colors, delicate designs. His fingers brushed against them almost without thinking. They felt different. Lighter. Alive. Before he could stop himself, he pulled out a simple outfit, nothing too flashy, just something that caught his eye. His heart started pounding. "What am I doing?" he muttered. But he didn't stop. Minutes later, Ayan stood in front of the mirror. He barely recognized the person staring back. It wasn't just the clothes, it was something else. Something deeper. For the first time in a long while, he didn't feel out of place. He felt right. A strange mix of excitement and fear rushed through him. "This is just once," he said quickly. "Just trying." But even as he said it, he knew that wasn't true. A sudden noise shattered the moment. The front door. Voices. His parents were back. Ayan's heart nearly stopped. No, this isn't possible. He scrambled, trying to change back, his hands shaking. The footsteps were getting closer. "Did you lock the door?" his mother's voice called out from downstairs. Just a second." Ayan shouted, panic rising in his chest. The door handle rattled. And in that moment, Ayan realized. He wasn't ready for anyone to see his secret. But it might already be too late. Cliffhanger. The door began to open, and Ayan was still standing there, unable to hide. The door handle turned. Ayan froze. For a split second, everything inside him shut down, his thoughts, his breath, even the frantic pounding of his heart seemed to pause, like the world itself was holding its breath. Then, the door creaked open. "Ayan? Why is your door?" His mother stopped mid-sentence. Time didn't just slow. It shattered. Ayan stood there, unable to move, his reflection still visible in the mirror beside him. The room felt unbearably small, like the walls were closing in. His hands trembled at his sides as he tried to form words, any words, but none came. His mother's eyes scanned the room. Then him. Then the clothes. There was no anger in her expression. Not at first. Just confusion. "Ayan," she said softly, as if afraid speaking louder might break something fragile between them. I can explain," he blurted, though he had no idea how. Silence stretched between them. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Endless. Ayan started, his voice cracking. It's nothing. I didn't mean. He stopped. Because even he knew how empty that sounded. His mother stepped into the room slowly, closing the door behind her. The quiet click echoed like a final decision. Ayan, she said again, more firmly this time, look at me. He couldn't. I said, look at me. Reluctantly, he did. Her face wasn't what he expected. There was no shouting, no immediate anger. But there was something else, something harder to face. Concern. Since when? She asked. Ayan swallowed. I don't know. Is this a joke? She added carefully. No, he said quickly, shaking his head. No, it's not a joke. He stopped again, searching for words that didn't exist. I just wanted to see what it felt like. The truth hung in the air. Unpolished. Raw. His mother looked at him for a long moment. Take it off, she said quietly. The words hit harder than he expected. Ayan's chest tightened. What? Take it off. Now. Her tone had changed, not harsh, but firm. Final. Ayan hesitated. Not because he didn't understand. But because, for the first time, he didn't want to. Still, he nodded slowly. Oh, okay. He turned away, his hands clumsy as he tried to undo everything as fast as possible. The fabric that had felt comforting just minutes ago now felt like evidence. Like something wrong. Like something he wasn't allowed to feel. By the time he turned back, he was himself again. At least on the outside. His mother sighed, rubbing her forehead. Go wash your face, she said. Then come downstairs. Ayan nodded again. He didn't trust his voice anymore. The walk to the bathroom felt longer than usual. Every step echoed with questions he couldn't answer. Why did I do that? What does this mean? Am I in trouble? He splashed water on his face, staring at his reflection. The same face. But something had changed. He could feel it. Downstairs, his father was sitting on the sofa, flipping through his phone. Everything okay? He asked casually as Ayan entered. Before Ayan could respond, his mother spoke. We need to talk. Something in her tone made his father look up immediately. What happened? She hesitated. Just for a second. Then. I found Ayan, wearing my clothes. The room went still. His father blinked. Once. Twice. Then slowly set his phone aside. I'm sorry, what? Ayan felt the ground disappear beneath him. It's not what you think, he said quickly, even though he wasn't sure what they thought, or what he thought himself. Then explain it, his father said, his voice calm, but too calm. Ayan opened his mouth. Closed it. Opened it again. Nothing came out. I was just curious, he finally managed. His father frowned. Curious about what? I don't know. He stopped, frustration rising. I didn't plan it. I just wanted to try it. That's all. Silence again. But this time, it felt heavier. More dangerous. His father leaned back, crossing his arms. This isn't normal, Ayan. The words landed like a punch. Ayan looked down at the floor. I know. Then why do it? I don't know, he snapped, louder than he intended. The room went tense instantly. His mother stepped in quickly. Enough. Shouting won't help. She turned to Ayan. Go to your room. But. Now. Her tone left no room for argument. Ayan clenched his fists but said nothing. He turned and walked away. Back in his room, the silence felt suffocating. He sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the wardrobe. The same wardrobe. The same place where, just an hour ago, everything had felt different. Better. Now it just felt like a mistake. A huge one. But as he sat there, replaying everything in his head, a new feeling crept in. Not fear. Not shame. Something else. A quiet question that refused to go away. If it was so wrong, why did it feel so right? A soft notification sound broke his thoughts. His phone. He picked it up. A message. From an unknown number. I saw you today. Ayan's heart skipped. What? Another message appeared. Don't worry. Your secret is safe, for now. The blood drained from his face. His hands started shaking. But we need to talk. Cliffhanger. Ayan stared at the screen in horror. Someone knew, and they weren't just watching. Ayan couldn't breathe. The phone trembled in his hands as he reread the message again and again. I saw you today. Your secret is safe, for now. But we need to talk. His mind raced through every possible explanation, but none of them made sense. Who could have seen me? His door had been closed. The curtains were drawn. No one was supposed to know. Unless. His stomach dropped. The window. He turned slowly toward it. The curtains slightly parted. Just enough for someone outside to catch a glimpse. Ayan rushed over and pulled them shut completely, his heart pounding louder with every step. How stupid could I be, he whispered. Another notification buzzed. He flinched. Relax. I'm not outside anymore. Ayan's chest tightened. They were watching. They had been watching. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. Should he reply? Ignore it? Tell his parents? No. No, that wasn't an option. Not after what just happened downstairs. He swallowed hard and typed. Who is this? The reply came almost instantly. Someone who knows your secret. Ayan clenched his jaw. That's not helpful, he muttered, typing again. What do you want? This time, there was a pause. A long one. Too long. Each second stretched into unbearable tension. Then. Meet me tomorrow. After school. Ayan's heart skipped. Behind the old basketball court. His eyes widened. That place was practically abandoned. Students rarely went there unless they wanted privacy. Or trouble. If you don't come. Ayan held his breath. Another message appeared. I might have to tell someone. Ayan dropped the phone onto his bed as if it had burned him. This can't be happening. His entire body felt cold. Someone knew. Someone had seen him. And now they were threatening to expose him. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Dinner was quiet, too quiet. His parents barely spoke to him, and when they did, it was about normal things. School. Homework. Routine. As if nothing had happened. But Ayan knew better. Everything had changed. That night, sleep didn't come easily. He kept staring at the ceiling, replaying the messages in his head. Who could it be? A classmate? A neighbor? Someone from school? The possibilities twisted into worse and worse scenarios. What if they show everyone? What if they send pictures? What if my parents find out everything? His chest tightened. He turned to his side, pulling the blanket over his head. Tomorrow, he whispered. I'll deal with it tomorrow. But even he didn't believe that. The next day at school felt unreal. Voices echoed around him, but none of them made sense. Laughter felt sharper. Glances felt heavier. Every time someone looked his way, he wondered. Do they know? He kept his head down, barely speaking, barely listening. Until. Ayan. He flinched. It was his friend, Zayn. Bro, what's wrong with you today? Zayn asked, raising an eyebrow. You look like you haven't slept in a week. I'm fine, Ayan replied quickly. Zayn didn't look convinced.
Yeah.
Sure. And I'm a superhero. Ayan forced a weak smile. Just tired. Zayn studied him for a moment, then shrugged. All right. But if something's up, you better tell me. Ayan nodded. But he knew he wouldn't. He couldn't. The final bell rang. Students poured out of classrooms, filling the corridors with noise and movement. Ayan stayed behind for a moment, his hands gripping the edge of his desk. This was it. He had a choice. Go. Or don't. If you don't come. The message echoed in his mind. He stood up. I don't have a choice, he whispered. The walk to the old basketball court felt longer than it should have. The further he went, the quieter it became. Fewer students. Fewer sounds. Until finally. He reached it. The court was empty. Cracked concrete. Rusted hoops. Faded lines barely visible on the ground. Ayan stepped forward slowly, his heart pounding. Hello, he called out. No response. The wind brushed lightly against the trees. For a moment, he thought. Maybe this was a joke. Maybe no one was coming. Maybe. Right on time. The voice came from behind him. Ayan spun around. And froze. Standing a few steps away was someone he recognized. Someone from school. Someone he never expected. They took a step closer, a faint smile on their face. I was wondering if you'd actually show up, they said. Ayan's throat went dry. You, he whispered. Cliffhanger. The person who knew his secret stepped into the light, and Ayan realized this was only the beginning. Ayan's breath caught in his throat. Why you, he stammered. Standing in front of him was Hassan. Not just anyone, Hassan was one of the most well-known students in school. Confident, outspoken, the kind of person who always seemed in control. The last person Ayan would ever expect to be involved in something like this. Hassan tilted his head slightly, studying Ayan's reaction. Didn't expect me, huh? He said with a faint smirk. Ayan couldn't answer. His mind was spinning too fast. Relax, Hassan added, raising his hand slightly. If I wanted to expose you, I wouldn't have asked you to meet me. That didn't make Ayan feel better. Then why am I here? He asked, his voice unsteady. Hassan took a few slow steps forward, his expression shifting, less teasing now, more serious. Because, he said, I think we can help each other. Ayan frowned. What does that mean? Instead of answering directly, Hassan reached into his bag. Ayan's stomach dropped. No, wait, he started. But it was too late. Hassan pulled out his phone and turned the screen toward him. Ayan's heart stopped. It was him. From yesterday. Standing in his room. Wearing those clothes. I didn't mean to spy, Hassan said calmly. I was on the rooftop next door. Your window was open enough. Ayan couldn't look away from the image. It felt unreal. Like seeing a stranger who somehow was him. Delete it, Ayan said immediately, his voice shaking. Please. Just delete it. Hassan didn't move. Not yet. Ayan clenched his fists. What do you want? There was a pause. Then Hassan sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. This is going to sound weird, he said. But I didn't message you to threaten you. Ayan blinked. What? I mean,
Yeah.
I needed your attention, Hassan admitted. But that's not the point. Then what is? Hassan hesitated. For the first time, he looked unsure. Because I know what that feels like. Ayan stared at him. What are you talking about? Hassan glanced around, as if making sure no one else was nearby. Then he lowered his voice. Do you really think you're the only one hiding something? The words hit differently. Ayan's confusion deepened. I don't understand. Hassan exhaled slowly. Look, he said, I've seen that look before. Yesterday, when you were in front of the mirror, you didn't look embarrassed. Ayan froze. You looked comfortable, Hassan continued. Like you were finally being yourself. Ayan's chest tightened. How do you? Because I've felt it too. Silence fell between them. Not tense this time. Heavy. Uncertain. Ayan searched Hassan's face, trying to figure out if this was some kind of trick. But, he stopped himself. Hassan? Hassan finished for him with a small, almost amused smile.
Yeah.
I know. That doesn't make sense, Ayan said quietly. Exactly, Hassan replied. It doesn't. Not to anyone else. Ayan looked down at the ground. So, what? You're saying you're like me? Hassan shrugged slightly. Maybe not exactly. But close enough to understand. Another pause. Then. I didn't call you here to expose you, Hassan said. I called you because I don't want to be the only one dealing with this. Ayan's head snapped up. What? I'm tired of pretending all the time, Hassan admitted. At school. At home. Everywhere. His voice wasn't loud. But it was real. I thought, maybe you'd understand. Ayan didn't know what to say. Part of him wanted to believe him. Another part screamed that this was too risky. You still have that picture, Ayan said slowly. Hassan nodded.
Yeah.
That doesn't exactly make me trust you. Fair point, Hassan admitted. He looked at the screen for a moment, then locked his phone and slipped it back into his bag. I'll delete it, he said. Ayan's eyes widened. Just like that? On one condition. The tension snapped back instantly. I knew it, Ayan muttered. Hassan raised a hand. Relax. It's not what you think. Then what is it? Hassan met his eyes. Be honest with me. Ayan frowned. About what? About yourself, Hassan said. No lies. No pretending. Ayan hesitated. That's it, he asked. That's it. It sounded simple. Too simple. And if I say no? Ayan asked cautiously. Hassan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he looked away for a second, then back at him. Then I guess we both go back to pretending, he said quietly. The answer wasn't threatening. But it wasn't comforting either. Ayan's thoughts raced. Can I trust him? Do I even have a choice? He took a deep breath. Fine, he said finally. Hassan's expression softened slightly. Good. But you delete the picture, Ayan added quickly. I will. When? Hassan reached into his bag again. Ayan tensed. But this time, Hassan simply unlocked his phone, tapped a few times, then turned the screen toward him. The image was gone. Happy? Hassan asked. Ayan stared at the empty gallery. Slowly, he nodded. For the first time since yesterday, the tightness in his chest eased, just a little. Okay, he said quietly. Hassan gave a small smile. Okay. They stood there for a moment, neither sure what to say next. Then Hassan spoke again. There's something else. Ayan sighed. Of course there is. It's not a condition, Hassan said quickly. Just something you should know. What? Hassan's expression turned serious again. Someone else might have seen you too. Ayan's heart dropped. What do you mean? I'm not the only one who can see your window from that side, Hassan said. And yesterday. I wasn't the only one on that rooftop. The world seemed to tilt. No, Ayan whispered. No, that's not possible. I'm just telling you what I saw, Hassan said. Ayan's mind spiraled instantly. Another person? Another witness? Another secret waiting to explode? Did you see who it was? He asked urgently. Hassan hesitated. Not clearly. Ayan felt his chest tighten again. But I have a guess, Hassan added. What? Ayan demanded. Hassan leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. I think it was. A loud noise interrupted him. Footsteps. Coming closer. Both of them turned sharply toward the sound. Someone was approaching the court. Fast. Hassan's expression changed instantly. We're not alone, he whispered. Ayan's heart started racing again. Who is that? The footsteps grew louder. Closer. Then, a shadow appeared at the edge of the court. Cliffhanger. Ayan's worst fear returned as someone stepped into view, possibly the second person who knew his secret. The footsteps stopped. Ayan felt his pulse in his ears. Hassan straightened slightly, his eyes narrowing as he looked toward the edge of the court. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then, a figure stepped forward. Ayan? The voice was familiar. Too familiar. Ayan's stomach dropped. Zayn, he whispered. Standing there, slightly out of breath, was his friend. Zayn looked between the two of them, confused. What are you guys doing here? He asked. You disappeared after class, and I saw you heading this way, so I thought. He stopped. His expression changed. Not confusion anymore. Something else. Something sharper. Hassan took a small step forward. How long have you been there? He asked, his tone cautious. Zayn frowned. What kind of question is that? Ayan's chest tightened. Zayn, he started, but his voice felt weak. Zayn looked at him directly now. And that's when Ayan saw it. The shift. The realization. Wait, Zayn said slowly. His eyes flicked between Ayan and Hassan. Then back to Ayan. This is about yesterday, isn't it? Ayan froze. Hassan's jaw tightened. Neither of them answered. They didn't need to. Zayn let out a short, disbelieving laugh. I knew it. The words hit hard. Ayan felt like the ground had vanished beneath him. Knew, what? He asked quietly, even though he wasn't sure he wanted to hear the answer. Zayn shook his head, running a hand through his hair. I was on the rooftop too, he said. The world seemed to go silent. You saw? Ayan whispered. Zayn didn't look away. Not everything, he admitted. But enough. Ayan felt his chest tighten painfully. How long? Hassan asked, his voice low. Zayn shrugged. Long enough to know something was going on. The three of them stood there in a tense triangle. No one moved. No one spoke. Until. So, Zayn said finally, crossing his arms, are you going to explain? Or just stand there pretending nothing's happening? Ayan swallowed hard. He looked at Hassan. Hassan gave a slight nod. Be honest. The condition echoed in his mind. Ayan took a deep breath. I wasn't pretending, he said quietly. I just didn't know how to explain it. Try, Zayn replied. Ayan hesitated. Every instinct told him to deny everything. To laugh it off. To say it was a joke. But something stopped him. Maybe it was Hassan's presence. Maybe it was the exhaustion of hiding. Or maybe he was just tired of lying. I like it, Ayan said finally. The words felt heavier than anything he'd ever said before. Zayn blinked. Like, what? The way it feels, Ayan continued, forcing himself to keep going. Wearing those clothes. Being different. Silence. Thick. Uncomfortable. Zayn stared at him. You're serious? Ayan nodded slowly.
Yeah.
For a moment, Zayn didn't react. Then he exhaled sharply and looked away. He started, then stopped. Ayan braced himself. For anger. For judgment. For rejection. But instead. That's a lot, Zayn finished. Ayan blinked. What? Zayn rubbed the back of his neck. I mean. I wasn't expecting that. No one is, Hassan muttered. Zayn shot him a look. And you? You're just, okay, with this? Hassan shrugged slightly. I told you. I get it. Zayn looked between them again. His expression softened just a little. So what now? He asked. The question hung in the air. Ayan didn't have an answer. Hassan didn't either. Everything had changed too fast. Then. Ayan's phone buzzed. All three of them froze. Slowly, he pulled it out. Another message. From the same unknown number. Looks like you're not alone anymore. Ayan's blood ran cold. He turned the screen toward the others. Hassan's expression darkened instantly. Zayn frowned. Who is that? I don't know, Ayan said, his voice barely steady. Another message appeared. 3 of you now. This just got more interesting. Zayn's eyes widened. Wait, there's someone else? Hassan clenched his jaw. I told you. Ayan felt panic rising again. They're watching us, he whispered. Zayn looked around the empty court, suddenly tense. Where? No answer. Just silence. Then. A faint sound. Not footsteps this time. Something else. A click. Like a camera. All 3 of them turned toward the same direction. The old storage building beside the court. One of its small windows was slightly open. Hassan stepped forward immediately. Stay here, he said. No way, Zayn replied. We're going together. Ayan hesitated for half a second. Then followed. They moved slowly toward the building. Each step heavier than the last. The air felt charged. Like something was about to snap. Hassan reached the door first. It was slightly ajar. He pushed it open carefully. It creaked. Loud. Too loud. Inside. Darkness. Dust. And. Movement. Hey. Hassan shouted, stepping in. A figure darted deeper into the shadows. Stop. Zayn yelled, rushing forward. Ayan followed, his heart racing out of control. Who are you? He shouted. No response. Just the sound of hurried footsteps. Then. A door slammed somewhere inside. They reached the back exit. Hassan threw it open. Sunlight flooded in. But outside. There was no one. Only emptiness. And on the ground. A phone. Ayan picked it up slowly. The screen was still on. A messaging app. Open. And at the top. A contact name. Ayan's eyes widened as he read it. His hands started shaking again. This can't be, he whispered. Hassan stepped closer. What is it? Zayn leaned in. What does it say? Ayan turned the screen toward them. The name was clear. Unmistakable. Cliffhanger. The mysterious sender's identity is revealed on the abandoned phone, and it's someone Ayan never would have suspected. Ayan's hands trembled as he held up the phone. Hassan and Zayn leaned closer. For a second, none of them spoke. Because the name on the screen didn't just surprise them. It didn't make sense. Samir, Tuition Group. Zayn blinked. Samir. From math tuition? Ayan felt like the world tilted again. Samir? Quiet, barely talkative Samir? The boy who always sat in the corner, solving problems no one else understood? That's not possible, Ayan said under his breath. Hassan frowned. Unless it is. Before they could process further, the phone buzzed. All three flinched. A new message appeared. So, you found it. Ayan's grip tightened. He's still connected, Hassan said quickly. Don't close the app. Zayn looked around nervously. Where is he? Another message. Relax. I'm not there anymore. You're too slow. Zayn clenched his fists. This guy. Wait, Hassan interrupted. Let's think. Ayan swallowed hard, staring at the screen. His mind raced. Why Samir? Why them? Ayan typed. Why are you doing this? The reply came after a few seconds. Because I was tired of being invisible. The words felt different. Not threatening. Not mocking. Just honest. Zayn frowned. What does that even mean? Ayan's thoughts shifted. Samir. Quiet. Always alone. Always unnoticed. Another message came. You three, you don't understand what it's like. At least people see you. Hassan's expression changed slightly. Keep him talking, he said quietly. Ayan typed again. So you spy on people? The reply came slower this time. I didn't plan it. I saw you by accident. And for once, I wasn't the only one hiding something. Silence filled the space around them. The tension felt different now. Less fear. More confusion. So he's not trying to expose you? Zayn asked. Not exactly, Hassan replied. But this isn't okay either. Another message appeared. I wasn't going to tell anyone. I just wanted to see what you'd do. Ayan felt a mix of emotions. Anger. Relief. Frustration. But he still scared us, he said.
Yeah.
Zayn added. A lot. Ayan typed again, slower this time. You could have just talked to us. The typing indicator appeared. Paused. Appeared again. Then. Would you have listened? That question hit harder than anything else. Ayan didn't answer immediately. Because he didn't know. Hassan crossed his arms. Tell him to meet. Properly this time. Ayan nodded slightly. He typed. Come back. Let's talk face to face. There was a long pause. Longer than any before. Even the wind seemed to stop. Then. Footsteps. All three of them turned toward the side of the building. Slow. Careful. Not running this time. And then. Samir stepped into view. He looked exactly the same as always. Quiet. Reserved. But now, there was something else. Nervousness. He stopped a few feet away from them. No one spoke at first. Then. You found my phone, Samir said quietly. Zayn crossed his arms.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to miss. Hassan stepped forward slightly. You scared him. Samir looked down. I know. Ayan studied him. This wasn't some mastermind. This was just a guy. A quiet, lonely guy who made a bad decision. Why didn't you just talk to me? Ayan asked. Samir hesitated. Because I didn't think you'd understand. Ayan glanced at Hassan. Then at Zayn. Then back at Samir. You didn't even give me the chance, he said. Samir looked up slightly. For the first time, there was something in his eyes. Not fear. Not guilt. Hope. Would you have listened? He asked again. This time, Ayan didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
He said. The answer surprised even him. But it felt right. Zayn sighed. Okay, this is getting deep. Hassan gave a small smirk. Better than blackmail. Samir winced slightly. I said I wasn't going to. Still counts, Zayn interrupted. Ayan stepped forward. Look, he said, what you did wasn't okay. Samir nodded quickly. I know. But, Ayan continued, I get what you meant. Silence again. But softer now. Less tense. Hassan glanced at the others. So what now? Zayn shrugged. We pretend this never happened? Ayan shook his head. No, he said. All three looked at him. We don't pretend anymore. The words felt different from before. Stronger. Clearer. I'm done hiding, Ayan continued. Not from myself. He looked at Hassan. Then at Samir. Then finally at Zayn. I don't know what this means yet, he admitted. But I'm not going to act like it's something wrong. Zayn raised an eyebrow. Then, after a moment, he let out a small laugh. You know what, he said. I still don't fully get it. He paused. But you're still my friend. Ayan felt something lift from his chest. Something heavy. Something he'd been carrying for a long time. Hassan nodded. Same here. Samir hesitated. Me too, he asked quietly. Zayn smirked. You're on thin ice. Hassan added, very thin. Ayan smiled slightly. But,
Yeah.
he said. Samir let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding. For the first time since all of this began. Everything felt calm. Not perfect. Not solved. But real. As they stood there, the setting sun casting long shadows across the cracked court, Ayan realized something important. His secret wasn't gone. But it wasn't a weapon anymore. It was his. And maybe. Just maybe. That was enough. The end.